Look at almost any female primate and you can tell something instantly. Whether she's fertile right now, just by looking. Chimpanzees show it, baboons show it. Almost every close relative of ours broadcasts it clearly. Humans don't. No swelling, no color change, no obvious signal of any kind, which is honestly strange. Evolution rarely hides useful information for no reason. So why would it hide this? Today we're asking an oddly personal question. How did ancient humans actually reproduce? And why does our biology look so different from every other ape? This isn't a small biological footnote. It's one of the strangest unsolved puzzles in human evolution. To understand what makes humans strange, start with our relatives. Gorillas run on a harem system? One dominant male, several females? Other males mostly excluded entirely. Chimpanzees do the opposite. Multiple males, multiple females. Very little exclusivity. Paternity, in that system, is basically a guessing game. Gibbons went a completely different direction. Mostly one partner for life, 3 species, 3 completely different strategies. So which one did early humans follow? The honest answer is a little uncomfortable. There's a 4th system worth knowing too. Orangutans live mostly alone. Males and females meet briefly, then separate again. No group, no long-term bond at all. 4 species, 4 totally different blueprints. We don't fit neatly into any of them. Since there's no manual, scientists look for physical clues instead. One of the biggest clues is an odd one, testicle size. It sounds strange, but it tells a real story. In highly promiscuous species, like chimpanzees, they're relatively huge. More competition between males means more sperm competition. In exclusive, one-partner species, like gibbons, they're much smaller. Less competition. Less need for extra output. Humans land right in the middle. Not built for total exclusivity. Not built for total chaos either. Our bodies suggest something in between, a flexible system, not a fixed rule. There's an even stranger clue, hiding in the skeleton. Most male mammals have an actual bone, right there. Dogs have one. Most primates have one. Humans don't. We're one of the only primates that lost it completely. Some researchers link this directly to reduced competition, less physical rivalry between males over time. Another small clue pointing toward the same pattern. There's another anatomical clue, and it's a big one. Walking upright changed the shape of the human pelvis. It had to narrow to support 2-legged walking. At the same time, human brains were growing larger, a narrower pelvis, a bigger head. Those 2 facts collide. Scientists call this the obstetric dilemma. The solution evolution landed on was striking. Human babies are born earlier than other primates, relatively speaking, drastically underdeveloped at birth. A baby chimpanzee can cling to its mother almost immediately. A human newborn can barely lift its own head, which meant human infants needed constant hands-on care for months, then years. One evolutionary trade-off, walking upright, reshaped everything downstream, including exactly how reproduction and parenting had to work. Now back to that original strange detail. Concealed ovulation. No outward sign of when a female is fertile. Scientists have a few competing theories for why. Theory 1. Paternity confusion. If no one can tell exactly when conception happens, more than one male might stick around just in case. More potential protectors, more potential providers. Theory 2. Pair bonding. If fertility isn't obvious, constant signals stop mattering as much, which means couples had a reason to bond year-round, not just during a narrow, fertile window. A relationship, not just a single event. Some scientists have tested this in clever, indirect ways. Studies have looked at subtle shifts in behavior across a cycle, small changes in voice, scent, even clothing choices. Nothing obvious, nothing anyone would consciously notice, which fits the theory perfectly. Concealed doesn't mean completely erased. It means quiet enough to stop broadcasting the obvious. There's a third theory too, focused on female choice. If fertility stays hidden, a female controls the information. She can choose attention on her own terms, not dictated by an obvious, visible signal. 3 theories, probably all partly true at once. Evolution rarely settles for just one clean explanation. Here's another detail that sets humans apart. Most animals only mate during a fertile window. Outside that window, nothing happens. Humans are different. Human intimacy isn't locked to a fertility window. Bonobos are one of the only other species that share this trait, and in bonobos, it serves a clear social purpose, reducing tension, keeping the group calm. Many researchers believe early humans used it similarly, not purely for reproduction, for connection, for trust, for holding a group together. There's one more physical detail worth mentioning here. Most mammals interact without ever facing each other directly. Humans commonly face each other, eye to eye. Some researchers connect this directly to emotional bonding, reading expressions, building trust, deepening a connection, a small anatomical shift with a very large social effect. There's a chemical side to this story too. Physical closeness releases a hormone called oxytocin, sometimes nicknamed the bonding hormone. It lowers stress. It builds trust between partners. Dopamine plays a role too, tied to reward and attachment. The same chemicals show up in parent-infant bonding, which suggests these systems evolved together, not separately. One shared biological toolkit reused for multiple kind of bonds. Whatever the mating system actually was, raising a human child was never a one-person task. Human babies are born unusually helpless, and they stay that way for years, far longer than any other primate. So parenting became a group project. Mothers, fathers, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, older siblings, close friends. Anthropologists call this cooperative breeding, and it may explain something bigger, why humans uniquely live decades past their fertile years. Grandmothers who helped raise grandchildren improved survival odds, even after their own reproductive years had ended. Reproduction, it turns out, was never just about two people. Modern hunter-gatherer groups still show this pattern clearly. Among groups like the Hadza in Tanzania, Tarantan words children are cared for by a wide circle of adults, not just their biological parents. Researchers believe ancient human groups likely worked the same way. A child with more caring adults around them simply had better odds of surviving childhood at all. Here's a detail that makes humans genuinely unusual among mammals. Almost every female mammal remains fertile until close to death. Human females and a small handful of whales do not. Decades of healthy life continue after fertility ends. From an evolutionary standpoint, that's a genuine puzzle. Why would evolution keep someone alive? Well past reproduction, the grandmother hypothesis offers one compelling answer. An older woman can no longer have her own children, but she can gather food, share knowledge, and watch grandchildren, freeing up younger mothers to have more children sooner. In other words, grandmothers may have paid for themselves, not through their own reproduction, but through everyone else's. So what's the real answer? Most researchers now think the honest answer is it varied. Different environments, different resource levels, different group sizes, all of it shaped what worked in that specific place and time. Early humans weren't following one universal rulebook. They were adapting constantly. Reproduction wasn't a single fixed system. It was a flexible toolkit shaped by survival. Historical and ethnographic records back this up too. Across studied traditional societies worldwide, a wide range of family structures shows up. Some strictly one partner, some allowing multiple partners under specific social rules. There was never one single universal human default. Historically, polygamous arrangements were actually fairly common worldwide, allowed and sometimes expected in many traditional societies. But even in those societies, most individual pairings stayed simple. One primary partner, most of the time, for most people. The rules varied, the underlying instinct toward bonding didn't. Climate and geography played a role in this variation too. In harsh, resource-poor environments, survival often depended on tight, focused partnerships. In resource-rich environments, arrangements could afford to be looser, more flexibility, more variation between neighboring groups. Biology set the range of what was possible. Environment and culture decided where, within that range, each group landed. So the next time this feels like a purely private topic, remember it shaped almost everything else about being human. Hidden fertility helped build long-term bonds. Extended intimacy helped hold groups together Cooperative parenting helped fragile babies survive at all. None of it was random. Every strange detail solved a real ancient problem. Every piece connects to every other piece. A body built for moderate competition, not extremes. Fertility hidden just enough to encourage loyalty. Bonding chemistry that rewards staying close, not just mating. And children so demanding an entire community had to help. Step back, and a clear pattern starts to emerge. Nearly every strange trait we've covered points the same direction, away from short-term competition, toward long-term cooperation, between partners, between generations, between entire communities. So let's go back to where we started. You, looking at a female primate, trying to read the signs. With humans, there were no obvious signs to read, and that wasn't a flaw, it was quietly one of our most important adaptations. Ancient reproduction wasn't one simple story. It was biology, bonding, and survival, all tangled together. Every strange detail we covered today had a purpose, and it built the foundation for something else entirely. Because once humans started forming lasting bonds, a much bigger question showed up. Did ancient humans actually get married? Or did they simply pair up with no ceremony at all? We'll get into that one soon.